Today we're at Kindred Home Supply. I'm your host, Sheldon, and today we're at this beautiful spot, a refillery, as well as so many other things. It's going to be a great, exciting episode. Anyways, got Jeremiah over here.
How you doing? I'm Jeremiah Lehman, Captain Jeremiah today. We are approaching Halloween, but we're 2 days out, and we're really excited to be here. Over on my left, anchoring it.
Hi, I'm Johnny. It's nice to meet you, Harry Johnny. That's what we'll call me today. I'm really excited to be here at Kindred. It's going to be an amazing time, and we want to let you guys kind of introduce yourselves and also introduce the shop, what you guys do, what it's about, and stuff like that. So we'll start over here with Kate.
Oh, me? Hardly. While I was Kindred's first employee, I don't know that I could speak to it quite so well as boss lady, but I mean, if you want to introduce it, I'll roll.
All right. So I'm Alex, and I started Kindred Homestead Supply just over a year ago. It was a crazy freaking time to start a business, but there's never really a time that you're ready for it, so I just kind of went for it. Kindred is really about a lot of things. It's about, teaching people to live low waste and making it beautiful and attainable. I think that there's often this idea that living sustainably has to be expensive and you should just throw everything away and start all new, and that is totally the antithesis of being eco-friendly. So I wanted to make it approachable, I wanted to make it beautiful, and I wanted to really bring people together. I think we live in a time where obviously we're so divided, and I wanted to really be the portal to the work that people need to do to recognize that we are more alike than not. And I think we all really in a lot of ways want the same thing, and I think that really starts with building a strong community. So yeah, here we are doing the thing.
I love that.
Cool. I am Molly. I'm Kindred's newest employee. I'm just happy to be here, I always really wanted to work downtown and kind of living the dream right now, right in the heart of the community. I mean, I love all the events and outreach and stuff that we do from working at Kindred, and I think it's kind of my favorite part about my job.
You fit the bill. You do really well.
My name's Emily. I'm the social media manager, and I do also some of the events and things that Molly was saying. And I agree, I was born and raised here, but I haven't really felt that sense of community until working in downtown and being here every day and seeing the regulars and knowing the other business owners and stuff like that. So I really enjoy working here.
That's super cool.
I love that, and it's really exciting. Your guys' space here is incredible. You got an upstairs, you got a downstairs, you got a plant space, you got an outside space. If you haven't been to Kindred yet, definitely come and check it out because it's incredible. It's like I'd say one of the best spaces in Vancouver as far as
what an upgrade
goes.
too, because when you guys originally started over there, that spot was not meant for you guys, and it was crazy to see you guys move across the street so shortly after moving in there, and then just knocking it out of the park with this spot too. Because this is a huge space. I was like, how are they gonna? And look at it now. I mean, I'm just amazed the transformation.
Yeah. It's really great. Talk a little bit about the starting in that small space, because you guys were kind of underground.
Literally, we were underground. Yeah. Again, it was a crazy time to start a business, and I was looking for retail spaces, not because I was really ready to do it. I just needed more concrete numbers.
Sure.
What's it going to cost me every month? What's the utility bill going to look like? What kind of fixtures am I going to need, et cetera, et cetera. Had a really hard time finding places. I mean, that I think spoke a lot to how well Vancouver businesses were adapting to COVID and that there weren't a lot of vacancies. And so I was definitely happy about that. So I just started cold calling, honestly, and started trying to think outside the box. So I started looking at upstairs office buildings and just sort of weird spaces that you maybe wouldn't think a retail store would be. And came across that space. It was actually really cool for a basement. It had that super cool entrance, the double glass doors. There was quite a bit of light coming in. I was really familiar with Brood, having lived here for almost 10 years. So I was a neighborhood spot that I was familiar with, and I just kind of had to get started, right?
Yeah,
it was
sure.
It's maybe not the perfect space. I know I won't be here forever, but I need to just show Vancouver what I've got and what I'm here for and what I'm doing, and then trust the process and trust that it'll happen.
And it's not like you failed over there at all, right? You took off. You got a lot of attention. I mean, people were wondering what's going on down these
Yeah.
crazy little stairs down there.
And I love a weird, funky space.
Sure.
Right? Like, I love attic tea shops and
Yeah.
like basement apothecary. Like, it had that total vibe.
Yeah.
So what was interesting is I thought that I had sort of pigeonholed myself because I knew that anytime I moved, it had to be an equally special space. Right? And so like that space felt really, it wasn't like a dark and dingy basement. It felt really magical. The exposed brick, the old historic building. It's like the only cast iron building in Vancouver, like all these different things. And people would comment on how it feels like a literal hidden gem, right? Like I've discovered this thing that I didn't know was here. And so I knew I couldn't move to just any space. And, you know, we are really close to Halloween and I celebrate it as Samhain. So speaking of spooky, I was approached 3 months into being in that space by the broker for this building. And she asked me to come and join the Schofield block. You know, knowing that what we were doing was really locally minded and focused. They were trying to curate a business, you know, a block that was full of businesses that were doing that. And Mary Schofield was actually one of the very first like women entrepreneurs of Vancouver.
Wow.
And we definitely
That's fantastic. Okay.
yeah, like we definitely feel her presence here. Like there are, if you're here late at night, we might even hear some of it tonight. There's like footsteps that people have heard upstairs, and if you're down in the basement, like, yeah, like there's some, I definitely don't feel like she has any, like, there's no like malicious energy
Well, if anything,
or anything
you're taking
like
the
that.
mantle, right?
Exactly.
So,
like she
yeah.
very much, you know, after her husband died, she very much like took up their businesses, which were in this building, a mercantile type thing where people came and got their goods. And, yeah, she had to work her ass off to make it happen. So there's definitely like, there's some kismet there, I think.
Some pieces of her left behind, which is
100%.
which obviously we're all dressed up because it's our spooky Halloween episode. So maybe she'll have a say in the podcast.
Oh, she's welcome.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Well, so let's start with the foundation because you do a lot here. You've got this great space. You've managed to fill it out. You've filled it up with great employees, right? And you do a lot. It's going to take us a while to parse through it all, right? So let's just start with, I guess, some of the basic tenets of what you do, the sustainability aspect, the refillery. Tell us a little bit about that. That seems to be a guiding ethic behind how you have created this business. What kind of details do you have behind that, and what motivated you to set it up that way?
Yeah, so a refillery, for a lot of people aren't familiar with that term yet, at least in the States. So it's basically a bring your own container or use a container that's provided here. It's a fill by the ounce system. So you can come and fill up on basic essentials like shampoo and conditioner and, you know, cleaners for your home. We also have ingredients, so if you want to make your own cleaners, your own like gifts, candles, bath soaks, that sort of thing, it's all. We've tried to make sure that there's a good variety of ingredients that you can purchase from us. Everything is, you know, good ingredients and good for you, good for the planet.
Very cool.
All of the ready-made retail stuff, because you have two extremes, right? You get a lot of folks who don't want to make anything because it's just too much work, and they are very, you know, conditioned to, I go to Ulta or Fred Meyer or wherever, and I buy my stuff and I bring it home and then I throw that bottle away, and that's what we do, right? That's the norm. Then you have other folks who are living on the total opposite of the spectrum, which are like, I make everything from scratch. Sure. I make my own laundry detergent. Like, I raise animals and I butcher them myself and like all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you kind of have these two extremes, and there's a lot of people who fit in between that. And so I wanted to try to meet folks where they were at. I think that in the sustainability world, there's a lot of shaming about like what it should look like or how you should do it. And, you know, if you don't make all your own stuff, then you're somehow failing at it, you know, or whatever. So, all of those things kind of exist within that refillery mindset. And then all the ready-made retail items that I've brought in are, I like to call it low waste and not zero waste, because again, no shame. You just do what you can with what you have. So, most things are recyclable, biodegradable, compostable at the end of their life, and there's very little, if any, trash left behind at all.
I love that too, because it makes it accessible, especially living and working here in downtown Vancouver. There's not many options like that. We have, you know, grocery stores and stuff, but there's nothing that's that kind of, like you said, the refillery there's no option for us to do stuff like that. Where it's
Meeting people where they are. So you're
Yeah,
allowing
handmade.
different entry levels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people to try to do a better job with simple household products.
Yeah.
I mean, laundry detergents, dish soap, just personal hygiene things. You guys kind of run the gamut and things that a normal household runs through in an average week.
Yeah.
And it's a little piece of like the country in the city, which I like a lot. Where
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
the decor really lends itself to
Homestead.
This place is very alive. Yeah, it's in
love
the
it.
name, I suppose. too.
Yeah. Well, and that was part of the point. I mean, it is a long name. So from a marketing standpoint, it's not the greatest thing, but I wanted people to understand, this is what sort of it encompasses
Cool.
without having to come inside.
Cool.
I also think it's worth mentioning that there is a sort of privilege that is often attached to the idea of sustainable living, that there's, you can, it's only available to those in a certain socioeconomic status. And by presenting it in a fill by the ounce method, you allow people to use ingredients and products that are good for them and good for the environment without having to spend their entire paycheck on it, right? Using good products, even buying them from Fred Meyer can rack up really quickly. So it's nice for folks to be able to come in here and say, I have $3, I need a lotion, and I can sell you, organic shea butter and exactly how much you have to your name that is within your means, and you can use that good product and not feel like it's out of your reach
I love that.
because of your socioeconomic status. And that was really important to me too, to make it accessible.
Very cool.
Where did you get the inspiration to want to really make a business out of this?
Oh, wow. Well, it's being done in other places, right?
Sure,
There are
other
a lot
countries.
of places, other overseas, it's very common.
Downtown Vancouver.
Downtown Vancouver, I mean, I heard a lot, you should do this in Portland, right? I heard a lot of that. There's more money,
Sure.
it's more established, whatever.
Take that, Portland.
Yeah,
Johnny.
I love Portland. I've lived up here
Heck
for
you.
almost 11 years, and I originally lived in Portland. That was the intention, was to go there. My husband now is from Camas, and so we were drawn up to Vancouver to be closer to his parents. And I have really fallen in love with Vancouver over the last 5 or 6 years. Brood, the family vibe, grandma working in the kitchen and all the cousins and all the friends and people who aren't even employees on the clock, holding the door open, going out to carry the stuff in. I remember when I was younger and that community vibe, I worked in a mall of all places.
Yeah.
But the mall has this sense of community, right? If you've ever worked retail or worked in a mall environment like that, everybody knows everybody. You know the people in the food court, that. I wanted that, and
That's great. That's
and
awesome.
I think there's a sense of community in the sustainability world, but it's so virtual, right? And I mean, of course, COVID taught us that, right? That is just not a way to be connected. Truly, my mom died. And
Okay.
when my mom died, I was totally lost. I have no family up here. My siblings aren't here. I had no one. And I was where are my people? Where do I find those people, and where does that even begin? And I started to find pieces of that in people who shared my ideals. So that was kind of the
I
beginning.
love that.
You certainly, your gravity, excuse me,
Turn
or at
into a
least the
pirate.
people around you. Arr! Your gravity has led you to the right location. You must have had the treasure map.
Nailed it.
That's good.
Recovery there.
I
No,
wanted
no.
to ask a little bit. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finished.
No,
your
it's
thought.
it is your turn.
I wanted to ask a little bit about how, you are very involved in the community, and you started doing these events just all the time, the flea market and all this stuff that you're just. I mean, we've got your anniversary coming up here soon, and all the stuff that you just tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Holy shit! All right, tomorrow anniversary. But that's so much with already getting to this new space and adding so. It had to be a lot. How are you managing to do all of this? These are the key pieces. Okay, I knew they were going to come in somewhere in here. I already knew they were, but the flea market, that's just taken off. That has been so much fun. I've been working most of them, so I haven't been able to get over there and stop in. But just looking over and seeing the liveliness and seeing the Vancouvers and just, I don't know, it really does bring that really cool. Imagine driving through just Vancouver and being what's there to do here? And then oh my God, there's a pop-up flea market in the middle.
Right.
How cool is that? Like that is.
It's creating community is what it is, and
It's
that's
impactful,
kind of
very
what
I
we
mean,
want to
Kate, just
highlight.
for those of the uninitiated, do you want to recap what the flea market situation's like?
Yeah, so once a month on the first Saturday of every month, we hosted a flea market in our alley over here. It's a parking lot, day to day, but it was something that like Alex, I knew it was kind of always like a dream because she was always talking about it, like even in our basement days, and she's like, what if we did this? She's always looking for new ways to like make the thing happen that she's like, what if we did this? The flea market turned into that. It took off. It was really great. It was really cool to see how people quickly rallied around the idea. Like, all you have to do is create the space to say, like, we're going to do the thing. And I find that's happening time and again with Kindred. And it's really cool to be a part of. So it happened with the flea market, and it turned into way more than people just selling, like, cool vintage stuff or beautiful soaps that they make. Like, there was live music, and then we were able to host Scratch Breakfast, which is like another rad pop-up that like we're so happy to be able to have that space for people. And it kind of feels like you're always setting up for a really big party, you know? So like, you know, this thing is going to be fun, and like you have those moments of like intensity and like stress and logistics and like how are we going to pull this off, and like how do we clean up before mom and dad get home, and like, like, you know, but it's just been super cool. And like, as a person who's like been around town for a while, it's been really cool to see that not only do creative people like still exist in this town, they're still willing to like roll up their sleeves and like get shit done to do something really cool. So
And it's almost like if you build it, they will come. So, you know, not to, it's an abuse.
Very
It's
much
a beautiful
so.
truism, but
Yeah, very much.
But in the wake of that, like we've seen amazing art come up, like murals. This space starts getting used, and it's almost like that energy is infectious, and people are just like, this is a cool vibe over here. This is a cool hangout. People just want to add to that and contribute.
You plant a seed, it will grow, man. You're
Yeah.
starting to
There
build
we
that
go, there we
community
go.
out there. That's what it
That's a
is.
good one.
Life finds a way.
Yes.
Or life creates more life, and I think we
Yeah.
found that, especially down here
Yes.
in the Arts District. And I mean, if you were here, I mean, Sheldon, you've been here for a long time at Brood and stuff, and you've seen the ebbs and flows of like it going from a ghost town to like it becoming.
Because some of my neighbors not liking so much. You know,
Yeah,
we won't speak
yeah,
names
yeah.
on names, but then having people like local boys that too. Kindred Home Supply.
Yeah.
I mean, Tonsors, like some of these great Nanavo, local,
Yeah.
all these places have come in since I've started working here.
Yeah.
And these places make this much more desirable spot to come
Yeah.
down to.
And shout out to the Downtown Vancouver Association too for
Michael with the VDA.
Michael Walker. He's always walking around with a suit on down here and
Yeah.
He's
checking
the
stuff
walker.
out.
Yeah.
He's always got
He's the
plans.
walker.
Yeah.
He's the walker. He really is.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and again, like exposing, you know, that coming back to the whole idea of creating space where people can discover that we are more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
Our last flea, we had the opportunity to host some indigenous dancers.
Cool.
And that was something, I mean, I grew up in, you know, California and then Santa Fe, like New Mexico and Tucson, Arizona. So like, you see that a lot. That's a part of my upbringing. My dad always wanted us to be exposed to that part of our culture and our heritage. And I witnessed people seeing it for the first time, it was really special.
That's awesome.
Like literally
That's incredible.
everyone stopped in their tracks to watch these performers, and it was beautiful.
That's awesome.
And it is about bringing like awareness to the people who were here before us, right? And acknowledging them and their culture and the fact that they've been erased,
Sure.
right? And giving them some space to exist in this space that
I love
we
it.
all just need to be together in.
Yeah, and the fact that we're sharing this space with them, and I think people coming from, you know, up north and stuff like that come to Vancouver thinking, well, there's restaurants to go to down there, there's coffee shops to go to down there, but now it seems like it's blooming into something huge and something bigger, and even like this, you know, the mural on the wall right here, you know, beautiful mural, you know.
Very significant in its implication.
Yeah, and very significant and stuff. So if you're ever down, you just drive around, look at the new murals on the walls, and like just the meaning behind them and stuff like that. It's so great. But I really appreciate, and I think like we interview obviously a lot of people, you know, with We're Vancouver podcast and stuff like that, but some people are just entrepreneurs and just have a vision for what Vancouver is or what it should be, and what its potential is. And you definitely have that vision.
Indeed.
You guys definitely have that vision,
You
and
guys are-
it's helping, you know, Vancouver become what it's supposed to be.
And the
you know?
speed with which you've acted behind it and
Yeah.
executed on that
Yeah.
is pretty incredible. It's pretty
It probably wears out your team a little
That's a good
bit.
point. Yeah.
It's a bit scary, I would say.
It's probably. Well, shall we take a break and see what's going on the table here?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been sipping, but yeah.
Yeah.
We just, well, it's a point of mention for each episode as we're trying something new down here. So what do we got?
I do. You know, I can't remember if we had tried this before, but we have the Bruja from Lewitt, and this is I'm not trying to get in front of the mic. This is the Mexican style lager from there. It's really, I believe we've already tried this one before on one of our last podcasts. To be stale, boys. I'm sorry, but
Well, we want to show the
delicious.
can too.
And it's got a
Yeah,
spooky
shouts
time
to
vibe about
Andre.
it. And look at this. It's like it's got the Halloween vibe to it almost.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
it's-
and like Kate said, shout out to Andre for the amazing art. Andre, we love you. He's going to be on the podcast at some point. I
Good, you
imagine.
should.
He's amazing.
It's like if you spend time at any bar in this town, you know that there's like countless napkins with skulls drawn on them, and they're all Andre.
Yeah, that's
So like
exactly
it's
right.
so great that he like his art finally gets to be like on a thing that I can drink. So shouts to you, dude.
Yeah.
And this is
Mexican
your first
style
time trying
lager.
it, so actually,
Vancouver staple.
it's a new for Kate, and
All
so
right,
actually,
Kate.
I want her input on.
You've heard us talk about this beer.
Well, I mean, like I'm no Cicerone, but any Mexican lager is generally delicious, crushable, perfect on a sunny day when it's super cold. This is great too. It's honestly kind of an anytime beer.
Lime,
Agreed.
no lime.
Well, I mean that's a contested debate, sir.
Just a personal
Um,
question. I'm not.
I don't need a lime with this one.
There you go. Man.
You need a lime with Tecate. You need a lime with other things. But
Definitely.
This
don't
already
need
gives
it.
me a little bit of the citrus, so I don't think I need a
Yeah.
lime with it. It's pretty
Thanks, guys.
unique, and it's yeah.
well, and
I have
shouts
to
to Kevin
admit-
and Tom too. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
no, no,
shouts
absolutely.
To Lewitt. You guys
Shouts
are
to
great.
Lewitt.
Congrats on 9 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our last month's episode, and we love those guys. Love you, Lewitt.
I have to confess, I've been hiding out back here with Grains of Wrath Dystopia.
Oh, you.
It's fresh hop season. Well, I had to bring it from across the street, you know, and I'll gladly get all of you one
Smuggling booty over
afterwards.
there?
But it is fresh hop season here in the Pacific Northwest. One of the first things I learned when I moved here from Louisiana was that beer has incredible taste profiles when you have 90% of the domestic hops grown within, you know, a couple
Yep.
hundred miles
Yeah.
of you. So this is going to be like a once a season with the fresh hops, of course. It's just representative of what they were able to harvest then. And this is delicious. Grains of Wrath is out of Camas. And if you want some, I will happily direct you
Oh, is that
to
the
some
Camas
later.
paper mill?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
Camas
And it's
paper
called
mill.
Dystopia because it's kind of a shut down paper mill right now. I think
Yeah.
it still runs
It's got
at
the
like
skull on it,
20%
so it
volume,
still
but
fits with the,
I could be
the
wrong about
Halloween
that.
vibe.
Yeah.
And on the bloodier side of things,
Yeah.
ladies, what do you got?
So I went over to Niche. I love Leah over at Niche, so
Leah's
shout out to her.
fantastic. Absolutely.
She is another total boss bitch, and yeah, I love her. I'm part of their wine club. Honestly, I don't know too much about wine. I know that I like it, and
That's about where I'm at with wine.
I know that I like it, and I primarily like red. So typically, I just go over there and I'm like, "Here's what I'm having for dinner. What kind of bottle of wine should I get?" And then every month I get like a collection of 3, and I can tell her, "Oh, I liked this one. This one was a little too plummy for me, or whatever."
Sure.
And then she kind of like adjusts what she gives me based on that.
Oh, you're getting a straight up personalized profile for your
Oh,
wine.
for sure.
100%.
Whoa.
Totally worth it. You get to pick your price point. You get 3 bottles of wine a month. Highly recommend.
Okay.
She is
And
awesome.
that's right next to Kiggins, right?
Right next to
right next to
Right there?
Kiggins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
She might be getting ready to do something different and maybe move down here. So
Oh, cool.
yeah. Anyway, very much looking forward to that.
I love the rumor mill. I love that.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of those
Always
stuff.
churning.
It's always
I like
churning.
this one.
What do you think?
Oh,
It is really yummy.
Profile, just
I like it. I feel like sometimes reds are a little like, you take like the first sip and it kind of like punches
Yeah.
you in the face. But this is She literally went there and was like, we're filming a podcast. It might be like kind of a stormy October day. Pick us a wine. And then she...
Yeah, so this is a red blend.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask. It's a red blend.
Yeah,
All
it's a
right.
red blend.
Looks
It's
like Italian.
Yep,
I
Italian.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
can't read
smooth. It's not too
anything.
tanniny. I don't like a very tanniny red wine
Tanniny.
either.
You
Yeah.
should try it, Sheldon, even though you don't like wine. You
Yeah,
should
pour
try
me
it.
a little bit of
Just
that,
a little
too.
bit.
All right.
Just a little skosh.
Kate, would you do the honors?
Indeed, indeed.
If there's enough glass, unless you want
We
some,
have more
Jeremy.
glasses in the back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What do you find as far as other local business owners and stuff? Talk about the community of business owners and how that's been for you guys. Have you found a lot of support and a lot of like, I guess, kindredship?
Kindred spirits.
Kindred spirits.
Yay!
Yeah.
How about that? 'Cause we've shouted out. We've shouted out a lot of people so far. Yeah, Kate's. I think you've worked everywhere in Vancouver.
I mean,
I joke that I've like literally worked my way down Main Street over the better part of a decade. I have had the privilege of like, I've always kind of worked at independent places, and I've been in the Vancouver area for, I don't know, well over a decade.
I love
I'm
it.
like the old surly, like get off my lawn kind of townie, but like it has been very cool to continue to be a part of Vancouver and how it continues to iterate itself, and how you see people have their different opinions about like what it's turning into and what it could be, and what,
Sure.
you know, it's, I don't know, just kind of sit back
I
and
love
pop
that.
some popcorn and see what happens.
That's amazing because
Yeah.
you've seen it like change. You've
Yeah.
seen it evolve and stuff, and into what it is now and where it's evolving now. So what? How about talk about business owners? Have you been working a lot with business owners? Have you found a lot of like? Obviously, you have to with doing the flea market and stuff. But talk a little bit
Well,
about
then
that.
the new plants that have come in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Matt and Kim. So Matt and Kim, actually, funny story, were some of my first regular customers,
Okay.
as was Molly.
Okay.
And so they decided to do the plant shop thing just this year, I think.
Cool.
And so they've been rad to work with. And tons of other local businesses. Like the great thing about the flea market is, you know, when I did vintage resale, there's not a lot of people who want to give you a start, right? Like
Sure.
you want to have a booth somewhere, you want to go to like Portland Flea or something like that. Like they want you to have an Instagram following. It's like several $100s to get a booth.
Sure.
You have to have like, you know, it's like getting out of college and somebody being like, I want you to have a master's degree and 5 years experience.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck's going to give me
Yeah.
that? So
Exactly.
it's, you know, you have to start somewhere, and nobody wants to be the place where you make a bunch of mistakes because you're learning something for the first time. And it's like, you know, let's just do away with all that shit. Let's just decide that we're all just regular human beings stumbling through the planet, trying to do the best we can for the
really
most part,
should,
right?
yeah.
Some people are shit, but not
Yeah.
everybody. And like, let's just be able to have honest conversations.
That's
like,
awesome.
so let's just say that we're willing to work on it, that we're not perfect and we're willing to work on it. So anyway,
Well,
yes.
that level of honesty, I'm sure, affords you instant trust with a group of potential customers, collaborators, people who are just like,
Sure. Yeah.
Pretty easy to find
this
your
broad
people
don't fuck
under yourself.
around. Like this
Yeah.
is a, you know, and we've alluded to
Straight
to it,
shooter.
yeah, several times. But the amount that you have managed to do in such a short time, and in a very specific short time, we've worked
true.
with a lot of people and interviewed folks that have
You just
talked
said it
about
there.
COVID and how it is.
Connected.
I mean, I think you used a lot of that to your advantage. You had your online following at least ready in the wings. I don't know, I should speak more to the social media director here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I feel like we start at, you know, a couple thousand, I think, when you first started. And then when we were in the basement, we hit 2,000. And now we're almost at 4,000. We've
Wow.
almost doubled.
Big growth.
And
Yeah.
like since we've moved to here. So I think that just shows like the momentum that we have and how much we have to offer down here.
Yeah, you're well liked, which is awesome. So how do we find you on social media if we're looking for you?
So we are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and
Nice.
Pinterest.
Ooh.
It's just kindred.homestead.supply or Kindred Homestead Supply. So
Cool.
pretty easy to find. We have the same like black.
So add them on
logo.
TikTok.
yeah, just
We have a viral video.
Oh, really?
That's
Are you
only because
dancing?
of Emily, because I am too fucking old to be
What's
on TikTok.
that?
I like when we were in the old space. I posted like a refillery 101, and it got like 24,000 likes.
Ooh.
A
Like this.
few people have come in because it's been on their For You page.
That's
I don't know.
true.
Love it.
I'm gonna look for it.
That's
Emily
awesome.
loves,
That's
like,
awesome.
whenever
I'm
somebody
laying in
comes
bed
in
scrolling through
and, like,
TikTok.
they're like, I saw you online, I'll be like, I'll just look at Emily and she'll be like,
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think that's like the biggest part, especially because of COVID, right? You're not really, people are spending more time on the internet, and
Yep.
so using that platform to our advantage is really cool.
That's
I
awesome.
think a lot of it too on social media, there's so much education to be had when it comes to sustainability stuff, right? Like, how do I compost?
Sure.
How do I like DIY my own, Halloween costume? Like all these things. And I think that we like to use that platform as a tool for education, because I could literally have a customer who's come in here for the first time and talk to them for 45 minutes about all the things they need to know, but how much of that are they going to actually retain?
And apply, yeah.
And
Yeah,
apply.
yeah.
So it's nice to have a spot where we can refer to them, like, hey, if you want to figure out how to wash your wool dish drying mat when you're ready for that, you can go to our Instagram, and
Cool.
we've done like a whole reel on it.
Very
So
cool.
it's there.
Very, very
Like
cool.
that's the main point of our reels, is to like show you how to change the blade on your stainless steel razor, and how
Very
to take the hand off of your beechwood dish brush.
Sure.
And so we get those questions, and it's available for us to just send them that way to
Yeah.
give them a visual on how to do it.
That's awesome.
Because you also do in-house classes and other kind of activities like that as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a question about that, and this was we talked about we talked to Emily over here. Molly, with your pottery, are you going to be doing anything with that up in here in Kindred?
Hey.
Yeah, she wasn't ready for that. Oh shoot, sorry.
that's okay. Yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, Alex's super awesome boss is basically like, if I wanted to retail here, I could. You're talking about like classes, like teaching things.
Classes and/or just your own craftsmanship
Well,
itself.
back up. Introduce us to your pottery. Just real
Cruciferous
quickly.
ceramics.
So I've been doing pottery for probably like 4-ish years now. I kind of started when I was in college at Clark. Shout out to Clark College Ceramics.
Or it's a really good program, actually.
It really is. Honestly, if you're ever just like thinking about taking a class down there, it's definitely worth it. They have a really awesome studio space, really awesome teachers, cool like lab time and those kind of things. Also, the Marshall Center does a pottery class, a little bit more affordable.
Shout out to Marshall Center, too.
Yeah,
Great people in there.
yeah.
Shout out count.
So, but that's how you kind of came to
Cha-ching,
connect
cha-ching,
with
cha-ching.
the collective space that we have,
Yes.
because you have that
We're
background.
pivoting. Oh, okay. So below Kindred is our artist collective, which is basically, I mean, artist is kind of a blanket term for like any people that are creative or like have something that they want to do collectively in the community.
People doing things.
People doing things
Doing the
together.
thing.
And I've been kind of involved in those for a really long time, and I feel like COVID kind of hit hard of like how important those spaces are, of like going to a place where you just forget about your life for a couple hours and just make a mug or throw a bowl, you know?
Cool.
But yeah,
Very
So
cool.
the answer is maybe. We're still working. I'm still working on it with Molly.
And maybe that was a bit of a,
I'm
I feel
intrigued.
like,
I
I
was
feel
not-
like you weren't ready for that. I'm sorry, but
I feel
just-
like for
I
me
wanted
it's
to
like,
know, you know?
it is something that I enjoy doing. It's also like, I work full time,
Yeah.
and
It's sometimes you don't want to take the passion out of something that you really enjoy doing because
Yeah.
you enjoy doing it so much. For me, I love playing video games. I'm a nerd, all right? But
I love it.
and taking into this aspect of maybe I could make a streaming career out of this and stuff, and I don't
Yeah.
want to do that because it would take the passion out of it for me. So I get that to a degree.
Yeah.
I completely get that, you know.
She has been slicing oranges for about 2 weeks for her garland class.
I'm gonna teach a class.
Well, so what's an average? First of all, I presume you can find your class listings with the social media access that you've talked about.
yes.
But what kind of cool things do y'all do on a regular basis?
Like on the regular or just
As a class?
No, just every day.
Oh God, can you imagine?
I mean, that would make our drop. I mean, sure,
Jesus.
let's throw it out there. If
No,
y'all know how
no.
to rearrange furniture.
No.
just come to our shop every single day.
They're experts at everything, so just come
Well-
here and just say,
Gotten so
Honestly,
good at saying,
that's like
sorry,
not
we're
very
need to know how to milk a
project.
cow? They'll teach you how to milk a cow.
Yes.
Ride a motorcycle?
Raise chickens, you know,
So yeah, let's.
I can do that.
install railings, you know.
What do you got? So what's before we wrap it up, I think we're about at the. Actually, let's get you guys. Let's show our
We got our
producers.
producers in here. Mark and Patrick, please come
Let's show
forward.
these costumes. Mark, tell us a little bit about what you are.
Just
I'm
shake it, shake it.
I'm Little Ricky, from across the street.
Okay.
Shout out to
I'm
local boy tattoo.
the tattoo artist from when he was in high school. I'm Baby Ricky. So,
I think we need a photo. You should ask him.
Yeah. And then we got Bob's Burgers.
We got
Bob from Bob's Burgers.
What's the burger of the day?
Your spatula.
I'm trying to think of something with Kindred in it.
We can cut this part
Got
out.
my spatula. Yeah. Come back to the
You need
burger.
your accoutrement.
Cut it in post.
So what's in the future for Kindred? What are we doing here?
God.
What do you have planned?
Yeah,
in the
what's
next-
not in the future?
That.
And also, well, let me
Yes.
pair that with this question too, because I want to know this before we kind of close out. Give us the elevator pitch of what Kindred is. So if people out there are watching this, they're like, oh, I should stop into that shop. Give us the elevator pitch. Obviously, Christmas is coming up. There's so many ideas in here and stuff like that.
So
And also, where are you guys going?
To the top, man.
To the top. I love it. I love it.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the whole mission statement really for Kindred is to provide a communal space that makes living sustainably beautiful, affordable, and inclusive.
Cool. I love it.
excellent.
I love it.
That's perfect.
And there it is. And so you could come here to get what? If people want to come in here, obviously you have plants they can see from behind you.
Yeah.
What else? Just give us a little bit about what else you have.
So much.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say home and personal care products. So shampoo, when you think about personal care, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, soaps, bath bombs, lotions. Home care would be like glass cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, laundry detergents, dishwasher pods, dryer balls. We have some things that are superfluous, robes that are made of, dead stock materials,
Cool.
and body wraps that are great for heating in the winter when you feel like it's never going to be warm again, because that time is coming.
Sure.
And, plants, obviously we have lots of great books, but everything is chosen with intention for sure.
There is a theme that goes, it does
Yes.
not look like a hodgepodge of just kind of disconnected things that you have for sale to take up space in here,
But
right?
there's
Right.
so much stuff.
There's a
something
through
for
line
all of
to
you.
There's something for everyone. Like
There
I see
is.
a
And
shaving
if
kit.
you were looking for that difficult uncle or aunt to get a gift for,
One-stop Christmas shop.
this
right here,
is
man.
this is fantastic. And I'm a lazy gift shopper, but I'm also like I feel guilty if I don't.
Yeah,
toss it, right?
You have to. You can't just
I'm
Amazon
not just.
it or
I don't
something.
order from
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
This is a go-to to spend
I love it.
$100 and take care of people in a personal and unique way,
Yeah.
and
And
support
you're
something
gonna
with
say
great intent.
We'll wrap it for you. We have a wrapping station that's going to
There you
happen
go.
in December.
Yeah?
It's
Yeah.
done. You're done.
Stop.
This is
And you
might
Scott's
even end up on
favorite
TikTok.
shop.
Yes, we're gonna host some wrapping workshops essentially.
Hey.
Kate and I had so much fun last year wrapping people's gifts. We have
I had fun wrapping.
yeah,
Everyone.
She was my little Christmas elf.
Even Alex's family's gift.
100% true.
I was the elf.
Yeah, so we'll have like dried citrus peels and oranges, upcycled maps and old vintage patterns.
Oh, cool.
Lots of twine that you can use, and so you'll be able to come and we'll just charge per gift, and we'll
Awesome.
help you wrap it all so that it's
Very,
all
very
presentable.
Even if you bring your own gift.
Even if you bring your own gift.
Wow.
Oh, here you go, folks.
Hey, if you need help gift wrapping,
I don't know how.
We got you.
I don't know how.
Yeah, know what I'm doing.
yeah. So come on down. What's the address to your?
It's 606 Main.
606 Main Street, downtown Vancouver. Don't miss it. It's you won't miss it. Like, it's huge outside. It's the kind of brightest window on Main Street, I would say. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Say it again?
The other thing I want to mention really quick is that we do have a collective space downstairs, and we're starting to open that up for drop-ins and free days. So first Fridays will be a free day. So anyone who needs to use that space to be creative or take meetings or work on your computer and just want to come and hang out with other creative people, first Friday is a free day. And then we're going to be doing drink and draw events on first Friday, and then otherwise, normally we're trying to keep it really affordable so that folks who need that extra space and want to come and use it anytime that we're open, which starting in November will be 7 days a week.
Wow.
10 to 5.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
10 to 5, you said?
10 to 5.
10 to 5, 7
The
days a week.
ambition
starting
cannot be
November.
matched. The opportunities are abundant, and the energy is rampant.
You heard it to the
So-
top.
So
You heard
saying
it.
that, let's open these Underbergs.
Take it to the top.
You either like them or you hate them.
Everybody hates.
I've never
Nobody
had
really
one.
likes.
No one really likes
Oh,
those.
you're
That's your time.
I love them.
Cheers to everyone. Let's just raise them up in the middle.
Prosit.
Thank you so much, and happy Halloween to everyone. Hopefully you guys have a